The retail market today, what a challenge. Things used to change every 15 to 20 years, then they changed every 10 years, and now they're changing every 5 years. Things are being sprung upon us. My business was stuffed 7 years ago. We went from a business that was the market leader in country towns to a business that was the market follower because we were slammed by a price war by a competitor that was going to outflank us with numbers, and then we finally realised we needed to outthink them, outsmart them in other ways. But instead of working out directly what I needed to do, I looked at some other industries in this country over the last 15 years and thought, what's changed? What grubby little industries could no one else make money out of that they're now making money out of? And the first one I came across was the coffee industry. I can't remember anybody in the last 10 to 15 years saying, you know what, it's a real bastard. There's not enough coffee shops. We need more coffee shops. I don't remember that either. But why is it that the whole country is being overrun with coffee shops? Well, 15 years ago, men in this country used to go to pubs every night of the week, drink beer and sort out the problems of the world. In fact, it should have been legislated. Now we've got to go and suck lattes with the ladies. That's where we go to talk, we go to meet, we go to converse. The $2 shop didn't exist 15 years ago. Now you're walking down the mall and someone drags you in there and there it is, everything you never needed. Travel industry. No one could make any money out of it. Graham Turner came along and created Flight Centre, based it on a culture and a culture alone. Being there and doing it well and doing it fast. And what was the first industry in this country that no one was ever going to change that was turned upside down by a pretty radical human being? Well, here it is. 20 years ago, when we got sick as kids, Mum would ring the doctor and plead for us to get in. Plead. And the nurse would go, we can get him in Thursday. No, Tom's really sick. I need to get him in today. All right, bring him in, we'll see if we can squeeze him in. And then you'd be given the indignity of having to put your dressing gown on and your slippers. And you'd go down to the doctor's clinic, and there you were, sitting in this little tiny area with these grubby little seats and this small room with a hard vinyl floor, and there was like a dozen people packed into this tiny room, and they had spots on them, and they had disease, and they were coughing, and they were spluttering. And I mean, you sat there for an hour, and if you weren't sick when you walked in, you were dying when you walked out. It was horrible. And then the doctor would pull in the back lane in his 500 SL Merc after having 3 bottles of red for lunch and letting everybody wait for 3 hours. And then the large nurse with a hairy top lip would walk over to you in front of everybody and say, what's wrong with you today, Mr. Potter? In front of everybody, and you'd go, hemorrhoids. And it was a horrible experience. And then the doctor would finally come and see you, and he'd have his white coat on, and he'd look down his glasses at you and say, what's wrong with you, young man? You were guilty for being sick. Well, what a bastard of a life that was. And then Jeffrey Edelston came along and said, I'm going to open up 24-hour medical centres. You can come in any time you like. We're going to open up a big waiting area. We're going to spread out on couches. We're going to have a guy sitting there playing the piano so you're not stressed. And then when the doctor finally came to see you, he didn't have a white coat on. He changed the industry. And I had to apply this thinking. What am I going to do to my business? Am I going to be my father? Am I going to see it not change and crumble? Am I going to be too gutless to face the violent cost of change? And we came up with one simple and brilliant idea. We decided to create drive-through pizza.